Welcome to the Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by X2 Comedy. If you're looking to get more out of your Shenandoah Valley experience, then this is the podcast for you. You'll meet interesting people, musicians, and comedians that perform here and find out more about what you can do and see. Whether you live here or plan to visit, listen to explore what makes our unique slice of heaven. Now here's your host, Don Davis Womack.
Hello, laughers. Welcome to another exciting episode of our podcast. Today, we have a special guest joining us, none other than John McMurray, the passionate culinary mastermind behind the renowned Ott Street Eats food truck. With their motto of where good neighbors and good food meet, Ott Street Eats has become a beloved destination for foodies and street food enthusiasts alike. John's culinary journey began with his degree from Le Cordon Bleu, inspired by his love for flavors around the world. Since then, he has dedicated himself to crafting mouthwatering dishes that bring joy to countless taste buds. With his food truck gaining immense popularity and a loyal following, we are thrilled to have John McMurray here today to share his story, insights, and delectable culinary experiences. Welcome to the show, John. It's great to have you on today.
It is actually quite fabulous to be here, Don. I appreciate your inviting me.
Yes, this is so exciting. I actually first met you because of your fabulous neighbors, the Rutherfords. Kim and Ken introduced me to you and your lovely wife, and I have been a fan of both of you since.
We appreciate that, Don. We really do. But actually, we're fans of yours. You know, thanks to them, we know of your comedy, and we have seen several of your shows, and we just think it's fun.
Oh, thanks for coming to the show. It's always great to see you guys there. And laughers, you can actually listen to Ken Rutherford too on this podcast because we interviewed him in one of the early episodes. So now where good neighbors and good food meet, it makes it real, doesn't it, John?
It really does, because this is actually where Ott Street Eats began.
Oh, I can't wait to get into that. But before we do, I would love for the laughers to learn just a little bit more about you. And I think I've got this right, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. But John, you're originally from Harrisonburg. Then you moved away for a while and now have retired and bought your childhood 1930s home you're restoring right here in town. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Actually, this podcast is being recorded right here in the house that I grew up in on Ott Street, hence the name Ott Street Eats. I did grow up in this house, did move away to Tampa, Florida for 20 odd years, got a culinary degree, worked in many different types of restaurants, eventually retired and moved back here because Harrisonburg is far superior to Tampa when it comes to the to living. And so Harrisonburg has a theme of the friendly city, and we have found that to be absolutely true. Harrisonburg has embraced us. We actually have a social calendar, which we never had in Tampa. We have friends, which we really didn't have in Tampa. So we're just very happy to be here. We love this house. We love our neighborhood. We love this city. And so we are happy and proud to be back here in Harrisonburg.
Oh, I'm so glad you all made this decision. It's you're incredible people. I love your story. You're inspiring. And I did not know this about you that we're going to talk about next. And that's you are a Le Cordon Bleu trained chef. And here's my thing about that, John. I don't believe I've ever heard of such a thing. So I just don't even know what that means exactly. And where was this training? Where did it occur?
I was living in a city just outside of Tampa, and I decided to go to culinary school, and there were some in the area, but there is a Le Cordon Bleu school in Orlando.
Oh.
And so it's about 3 to 4 hours away, depending upon traffic. God help us. I drove there every day and drove back every night, 5 nights a week for about a year and a half.
Oh my gosh.
So I really intended to learn everything that I possibly could from that school because it has a name brand. Le Cordon Bleu is world renowned.
Oh, wow.
There's the
So I'm clueless.
Culinary Institute of America
Okay.
is in Hyde Park, New York. They're probably the best culinary school in the world.
Wow.
I wasn't going to New York. I needed to find something that was closer to home. There's also Johnson & Wales, which is also another very reputable school. I have some friends who graduated from there. But Le Cordon Bleu is a internationally recognized school. It's a satellite school of one that they actually have in France. So I was privileged to be able to get accepted and to be able to study there and graduate with honors. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. And it spurred a lot of curiosity and innovation and recognition of different methods of cooking, so that I could use that to further my culinary career.
That is incredible. If I heard you right, you drove 3 to 4 hours one way every night for a year and a half?
Yes, ma'am.
That is some dedication and passion to be able to do something like that.
I did not grow up in a culinary household.
Okay.
My parents did their very best. But, they boiled chicken and made rice. There wasn't a lot of highfalutin food in this house.
Okay.
So when I left this house and I got married and eventually moved to Florida, I became very intrigued with different cuisines, different methods of cooking and so forth. And in going there, learning all these different types of cuisines and ingredients and things to play with and methods of cooking, I thought, wow, this is fun. And so I truly dedicated myself to that art form and graduated and became an executive chef of an Italian restaurant. I mean, here I am, essentially an Irish boy living in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and then I went there and I graduated from a French culinary school and I became an executive chef of an Italian restaurant. It's really weird, but hey, why not? So learned a lot about Italian there.
Yeah.
And from there, I went to some French places, some American bistros, and just honed skills in a variety of cuisines and had a lot of fun with it and brought what I learned from each place to the next place so that make everything better.
What would you say was the most surprising thing you learned when you were going to that school for a year and a half about culinary art or cooking, What was the most surprising thing to you, would you say?
Wow. I understood that there were different methods of cooking. You can grill, you can braise, you can saute and that kind of stuff. And I learned a lot about each one. But the thing that had the most impact on me and the thing that I tried hard to impact upon the many people who worked for me after that, literally was knife skills.
Knife skills?
Knife skills. How to use the chef's knife without cutting yourself. And
That's
different
important.
kinds of cuts.
Yes.
Be it a small dice, large dice, julienne, whatever else. And then to be able to teach that to people who worked for me was an awful lot of fun, and also kind of reducing the bloodshed on the cutting boards. That's great. So,
Also very important.
yeah.
Yes.
I can just teach my wife, but anyway. That'd be great. I'd have to blindfold myself if she cuts the vegetables.
Safety first, Leanne. Safety first.
Yes.
That's his wife's name.
Great.
His wife's name, his lovely wife, is Leanne.
She is very lovely. She's very patient. She loves me beyond mortal measure, and I don't deserve it. But hey, she is truly my much, much better half.
Oh, I agree. Just messing with you. Can you share with us about the origins of Ott Street Eats and what inspired you to start a food truck?
Yes, I can. When we moved back to Harrisonburg in late 2020, we retired. We came back. We found my childhood home to be in decent shape, but needed some renovations. And so we spent the next year or so having some fun with that. But then my wife is a true foodie. And, well, I spent so many years making food that I certainly enjoy food as well. Well, a friend of ours, a mutual friend, Master Ken Rutherford, was having a birthday party, and he was inviting people from all over the world. His wife was concerned about the catering, and she came across the street, and we talked about things, should I get this caterer or that caterer? And, well, I just said, why don't you just let us cater it? And she raised an eyebrow and said, well, really? You sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. This could be fun. Ken Rutherford has had a delightful life in that he's been able to travel all over the world.
Yes.
In many fabulous places and learned many fabulous things and had a great influence on the world at large.
Absolutely.
And so I did not feel that a catering for his birthday party that was going to be engaging so many people needed to be of a singular cuisine, which, Harrisonburg has great food and fabulous caterers.
Yes, they do.
But each one generally specializes in the cuisine that they're comfortable with. And so I put it to his wife, Kim, well, let us cater it and we'll get dishes from around the world. And so that it can truly be a global thank you to Ken for all that he has done for the world at large. And she raised her other eyebrow and said, wow, are you sure? And I said, well, give me like 3 days and we'll send you a menu sample and see what you think about this. And so we worked out some Greek recipes, African recipes, English recipes, and so forth, so on. And so we sent that over to her, and hey, we got the job. So we catered this, and there were about 60 people there, and it was fun. And so thankfully it was right across the street, so it wasn't that hard to cater it.
Yeah.
So we ran some dishes over there. We had backups and everything else, and we had a great deal of fun doing that and put out a variety of dishes. Everyone seemed to be very happy. And from that, we got a couple more catering requests, or, hey, can you bring a dish for this event? And as things progressed, we even got like a corporate catering gig or two. And then, the guests at these events started asking us, where's your restaurant? Well, I don't have a restaurant. So I started looking at restaurants in the area and thinking about, well, maybe we should buy one and renovate it and make it our own. But then we realized that we came to this from 2 years of retirement. And I didn't really want to buy a full-time job. I run restaurants most of my life, and it's a 60, 70-hour work week or more. And I said, that's not really what we want to do, nor do I really want to pay that much for a restaurant and have to work it as a more than full-time job. That's just silly. Though I looked at my wife, my better half, smarter than I am, and I said, sweetheart, what would you think about just a food truck? We can still cater, we can still have some fun, and this way we have control over our menu. We're only open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 to 3, sort of a part-time gig, and we can change the menu every week because we're foodies and we like to do different things all the time. We're just silly like that. And so, that's a whole lot cheaper than buying a restaurant. And yeah, we can do that. Where would we locate something like that, though? Which was a very, very interesting twist to this situation. There are several, about 20 food trucks in Harrisonburg, believe it or not. There
wow,
really are.
I think there's more than, it's increasing.
Probably are.
Yeah.
But they
great.
seem to be essentially located in sort of the outskirts of Harrisonburg.
That's
There's
true.
nothing downtown.
That's true.
Well, there's one ice cream guy who's very cool, by the way. But there are no food trucks downtown. And so I said, well, we happen to know these Rutherford people.
Yep.
And so there is a lot right next to their house downtown that would be fabulous. It's like 1 block away from being downtown. It's across the street from the Quilt Museum. My wife and I are both quilters, so we're very excited about that as well. And it's, if we could talk to the Rutherfords about that would be cool. Well, luckily, the Rutherfords were on board. They got very excited about this. Kim and Ken got excited. Later on, Duncan Rutherford bought that property from
That's their son, Laughers. Duncan,
Duncan Rutherford, their son, bought the property from his parents.
Yeah.
And he's even more excited to have the food truck there. And has helped us out tremendously. So we were very excited to be located there because that was our primary desire. If we're going to be serving elevated comfort food, shall we say, with a changing menu, where would we want to be? I don't want to be on the outskirts of Harrisonburg. I want to be somewhere where people can walk to us downtown. And so that was a key element to our decision to doing the food truck.
That is a lovely story. And Laughers, for some context, definitely go back and listen to Ken Rutherford's interview because it's not every day you have a friend that's a world leader. And he is a double amputee doing American Corps work years ago and had the opportunity to work with Princess Diana while she was still with us. And his whole mission is to rid the world of landmines, and that was the landmine that took his legs. And he's done some tremendous work, and his story is incredible. And we're fortunate to be friends with both of them because they're both just absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. Ken's written several books on the subject, and I believe Paul McCartney's been involved with them. But ridding the world of landmines is a tremendous project, and he is well respected around the world for the work that he has done regarding that. And he's also written many history books concerning the U.S. So,
including
learn about Ken Rutherford,
including landmines that were involved in the Civil War.
Absolutely.
So that was his latest book, I think.
I think so. Well, he's also working on another one right now, but he has just been appointed by Governor Youngkin.
That's right.
To a historical preservation board. So he is a guy to get to know because he's, not only well-versed in history and very active in the preservation of that, he's also fun. He is very
fun and funny. Agreed. So is his wife. Yeah, that's right, Laughers. If you want to know some real Laughers, get to know the Rutherfords. Your menu, you talked about it, has a diverse range of flavors. How do you choose the cuisines and dishes that you do offer, and what drives your culinary creativity?
Ingredients.
Really?
What can I do with peas?
For real?
This week we had a pea, spinach, pepita hummus.
Okay, you're gonna have to break that down a little bit more for me.
Most people, go
I love food, but
most people
wow.
go to the store though. They're going to buy a Sabro hummus, which is made with chickpeas, and it's delicious. I will never knock anyone else's product. I buy it myself. Why not? Because I enjoy a little hummus, a little pita, something like that. But how can you elevate? How can you make it different? How can you make it even healthier? Okay, so we take the humble English pea. We add a little spinach. We add a little tahini, some olive oil. Instead of pine nuts, let's put some pepitas in there, which are simply roasted pumpkin seeds. Okay, so you put all this together. You put it in a blender, dip a little pita in that, and wow, this is actually delicious. Okay, let's serve this. And it's healthy, it's fun, it's delicious. We can get peas locally. We grow the spinach in our own garden. So
right there in the backyard.
Out of my garden, I will use. If I can't get it out of my garden, I guarantee someone else is growing it, probably at the farmer's market downtown. If not there, I will get it at the co-op. Because I try to focus on local as much as possible. Because we have a great culinary, agricultural area here.
We're getting very well known for that. Yeah.
We were the breadbasket of the Confederacy. I mean, so it's been a long time that people have been growing wonderful things here in the Shenandoah Valley.
That's true.
So how can I use this rather than buying things from, Costa Rica or Canada, let me find local ingredients that I can elevate for people to try something new and different, tasty, that they can maybe take home and figure out how they could try to do something on their own to help their own community with their own agriculture and their own
food.
Plants. Food.
Yeah, food.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Laughers are getting familiar with our area in Harrisonburg. When he talks about the co-op, that's the Friendly City Co-op. And then the farmers market, I believe that's Tuesdays and Saturdays, right?
Tuesdays and Saturdays from, I think it's like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, a little bit before I get up.
Yeah.
Until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And Thursdays, I believe they are having the food market open until from 5 to 8.
Okay. All right.
So anyway.
Yeah. And that's it's under the Turner Pavilion.
The farmers market. That's
farmers market under the Turner Pavilion, which is by the city.
Yeah. City Hall
office, yeah, and it's really fabulous. If you haven't ever been to the farmers market here in Harrisonburg, I highly recommend that you check it out.
Great local farms putting out fabulous produce.
Yeah.
It's all fresh and it's right there for you.
Not just produce, but there's meats available.
Meats is there, and Glendora Meats is somebody that we definitely use for our beef products and so forth. So. Yes.
And then the crafters are also there. So you have some artsy things that you can find. And then oftentimes I've seen lately music artists that will pop by. And it's just a really great community experience to come check that out. So
absolutely.
I highly recommend. Well, all of this food is honestly giving me the munchies. And what is this I have here? It's preposterous gourmet popcorn, Shenandoah Valley's only award-winning popcorn. John, I'm feeling generous today, so I brought some for you. Ever tried it? Let's try it out right here.
I have to be honest that until today I have not tried preposterous popcorn, but I'm also going to be very honest and say that I'm eating a fair amount of this stuff. You were generous enough today to bring strawberry vanilla, which you said is a new flavor.
It's a new flavor. It's so good.
Oh my!
Isn't it amazing?
This is going to be a staple in my pantry from now on. This is absolutely delicious.
Isn't it?
I love this. And the fact that it's made just over in Bridgewater, which makes it local, which makes it even better. You were supporting a local business.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's not just a local, but it's delicious.
It
It's
really is.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Preposters.com
Mm-hmm.
with they have a Facebook, they have Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we can find out, and I plan to find out what other flavors that they have.
So much.
This is strawberry vanilla, and
Mm-hmm.
this is just amazing.
It is amazing. They have a lot of sweet and salty flavors, and then they also mix it so you can get sweet and salty in the same bag or in the same order. It's really incredible.
It's in Bridgewater. It's
I know.
right here in the Shenandoah Valley.
That's-
Like a stone's throw from Harrisonburg. This is great.
Isn't it amazing? I love it so much. And this is high praise coming from a culinary chef. I know.
So pardon me when you
Executive
hear the
chef.
crunches for however long this interview lasts.
I love it so much. I'm over here munching on it. There's 3 fun things, Laughers and John, you need to know about Preposters before you order. Number 1, their popcorn is made from kernels grown, like John said, right here in the Shenandoah Valley. 2, their factory is 100% nut-free. There are no nuts anywhere in their factory or production process.
Awesome.
I know. And with the nut allergies these days, it's really fantastic.
That's fabulous.
And then 3, it's great for any gifting occasion, perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, or literally anything you can come up with. Preposters is a perfect gift, and it doesn't require you to know anyone's shirt, shoe, or pant size.
Oh, my pants size.
I'm not telling you mine either, John. Laughers, order yours today using promo code LAUGH15 and get your 15% discount. Visit prepopsterous.com. That's prepopsterous.com today to see all their sweet and savory flavors. Yummy.
15 was it? Yeah, okay, got it. Moving on, sorry.
Get that discount, John. Fill that pantry up. Can you share a memorable or funny moment you've had while operating the food truck? Oh, I can't wait.
Memorable ones are numerous and frightening. Requiring some therapy. But, let's see. Humorous ones, that might require some thought. I have had the honor and privilege of running many restaurants in my life. It's can be fun, can be rewarding, can be frustrating, can be angering. If you've ever watched, Hell's Kitchen, that's kind of where I was. Which is why I decided to A, retire, and B, that if I was ever going to get back into the food business, it's going to be on my own terms, not having to answer to anyone in a cubicle.
Not on the front lines,
so
yeah.
The food truck has been an interesting thing to try to work out because, again, having run restaurants, helping out hotels and so forth, there's always been a structure around it. With a food truck, you are out there. You are out on your own. But I will say this. There is an interesting wealth of knowledge on Facebook on a page called Food Truck Training.
Really? There's such a thing?
There really, really is.
Okay.
It was started by a guy who wrote a book about food truck training. He's built a successful food truck empire, and that's fabulous. But what's interesting about this website or Facebook site is that newbies, like me, will ask questions. Say, how do I know, if I need to get more propane? How do I know, if my water is working? How do I know how do I know anything?
Right.
And people who are experienced, and it's not just the author of this, people who are involved in this site will answer you. Honestly,
They will.
honestly, I mean, if you ask one question, you will get 12 different people responding in helpful, honest ways.
That's
it's the most honest thing I've seen in years. So
great.
That has been tremendously helpful. Let's see. What are some things that I had to work out? I had to figure out that, okay, I have 2 large propane tanks that help me fire up my fryer, my flat top, and my little saute station and so forth, burners. And, well, how do you get them refilled?
I don't know.
I didn't know either.
Okay.
I bought this food truck used from a really good shade tree mechanic somewhere in the depths of West Virginia.
Okay.
Where apparently they don't have laws, but that's okay. We'll get back to that.
I'm from West Virginia. It's funny.
Yeah. I'm not holding that against you. So, okay. So I get the trailer finally, and I have to figure out how to get these things refilled because they're very large and on the front, and so I take it out to Southern States Rockingham Petroleum, and I say, yes, I'm here, and I need these tanks refilled so I can fire up my equipment and make all kinds of fabulous food. And they gazed upon me and probably chuckled slightly, and then said, well, sir, you got the wrong kind of valves on there. And I said, what? Okay,
yeah,
English.
Right, that's what I would need.
I need a clue here.
Yep.
And they said, well, this kind of valve is kind of like if you have a camper or something, then we could kind of refill it there. But what you want probably is to be able for us to come around and refill it from the top. I don't care where you refill it from.
Let's just get this done.
Yeah. Refill the bloody things, please. Well, apparently I had to not only empty the valves or empty the tanks and then take them back to them, and then they could take off the bad valve, put on the right valve, so that when a truck comes by with propane, they could fill it from the top. And it's okay. I don't care. I really don't. Just refill the blades.
Let's go.
So that was a learning experience. Again, West Virginia apparently doesn't have a whole lot of laws, so I had to get the entire hood system reconfigured because, there are fire hazards, and so I had to get that whole thing redone. There are a lot of things that you can look back at now and chuckle and say, wow, that was an experience, and then at the time, no, not so much. But one can think that getting into the food truck business would be, I don't know, not nearly as expensive as getting into a restaurant. And overall, that's true. But watch out and know that there are expenses that one will need to incur. So whatever your budget is, go ahead and double it. It's fine. Just double it now. And know that there are going to be challenges and mistakes and whatever else. But in the end, you'll have a truck that is safe and legal and everything else.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead and cook and serve food and make people smile.
I love that. You know, we have a global audience, which is pretty cool.
That's frightening. Thank you for telling me that.
Well, we hope that they come and visit in Virginia and come check out your food truck. But just for laughers that are across the way, across the pond, as they say sometimes, that West Virginia is a neighboring state to Virginia. There are actually 2 different states in the United States. Some people think that was all one state. Did you know that?
Well, according to West Virginians, they still think it's a single state. One has laws,
I love that. If you're from here, we have so much fun with West Virginia jokes.
We do. And will continue to do so.
I can take it. It's okay.
I'm so
and you just mentioned challenges that you've faced. It's already a little bit with the food truck as an owner. What would you say is some of your biggest challenges to date, and how did you overcome them?
That comes in two different phases.
Okay.
The first phase was just getting the truck, which is quite literally actually a trailer, fit and ready for food service. Again, in West Virginia,
the different
they
state.
got a law. They were able to do things that were not allowed in Virginia, a different state.
That's right. It's our educational moment.
a lot more regulations and safety concerns and
That's
so forth,
true.
which is fine.
Yep,
Okay.
I agree.
I wasn't quite ready for all those expenses, but we got it done. And then one of the challenges that we actually put upon ourselves was the fact that we are foodies and we enjoy different kinds of foods. So how do you come up with a different menu every week?
That is a challenge.
We are generally open Wednesday through Saturday for lunchtime, 11 to 3. So, okay, it's Saturday. What are you going to serve next week? I don't know yet. Give me 48 hours. I'll think real hard and we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
So, that's a challenge. But on the other hand, we're the only food truck that I know of in the city of Harrisonburg or surrounding areas, honestly, who has taken up that kind of challenge. So we buy things and create our menus in relatively short-term supplies.
Okay.
If we were only serving tacos, which is a fine food to have.
I'm a fan of tacos.
There are several trucks here in Harrisonburg that serve fabulous tacos. I've been to them. I eat them.
Very good.
I would buy an awful lot of tacos, and I would buy an awful lot of ground beef, and I would buy an awful lot of ground onions, or just onions and grind them myself. I don't care. But that limited menu that you're going to have for the next 6, 8, 3 years, who knows, you can buy in bulk and know that you're going to serve that product for a long time.
Right.
Let's go back to the pea, spinach, pepita hummus.
Right.
I'm only serving that for 4 days.
For the week. Yep.
Wednesday through Saturday. So I'm buying limited quantities. Hopefully developing a quality product.
Right.
And serving it, hopefully selling out of it by Saturday afternoon.
That would be amazing.
While I love it, I don't want to eat it for the next 3 days.
I'm with you on this.
We have a smoked club sandwich this week. So I have a smoked ham, a smoked turkey, smoked pork belly. Most of this smoked by me. And then going with some sauces, some lettuce and so forth. So buying a limited quantity, put out a quality product. This is going on feta dill bread by Staff of Life. So it's a local bakery.
Okay, I was going to say, what is Staff of Life?
It's a local
Got
bakery
it. Okay.
specializing in artisan breads.
I didn't know of them. I need to talk to them.
Yes, you do. Amy is a wonderful baker, and she puts out different breads each week. And so, we have tried to partner up with her as much as possible. Again, local.
I like
trying
that.
to feature as much as we can on our truck. And local beef, local pork, local turkey, whatever we can find as local as possible, we will. So, but the challenge to get back to that is how do you buy just enough for a week
and not like go way overboard. Yeah.
And then checking the Weather Channel to realize that, oops, it's going to rain every day. Okay, so we don't need to buy as much because not as many people are going to be coming. So when you're only serving one menu for 1 week, that can be complicated.
Because you're changing it up the next week. Yeah.
Because next Wednesday is going to be a whole different menu.
I love that about you guys, though.
Well, we try to keep it fresh, keep it local.
Yeah. Now, what do you do if you do have like surplus? Are you figuring out creative ways to?
We are.
Okay.
We are looking for some people that will, like for homeless shelters or something like that might be willing to accept some of our food in that way. Otherwise, my wife and I are gaining weight. We will throw a party, whatever. I mean, we obviously don't want any food to go to waste.
No.
Certainly not. But if there are organizations locally that we can help with some of our excess, awesome. Obviously, the goal is, please, for the love of God, sell out.
Right.
So if you come at Saturday at 2 p.m. and we're sold out of 3 out of 4 items, I'm sorry. Hey, that's the way life is. But thankfully, we're not wasting anything.
I like that. So if there are organizations out there that are listening to this and they're like, oh, I need to connect with them,
Chef at OttStreetEats.com. All small letters, all one word. Chef, CHEF, at OttStreetEats.com. Please contact me.
Yes, that would be great, because then that's a way to help other people with the excess food and with what's going on in our world today. That's a blessing to be able to feed others with the excess food.
We started this as a way of helping people.
Yeah.
To bring it very close to home. We have a couple of people that help us out on the truck because we have promised to help them out financially. And then to take it a little bit further, we have participated in several fundraisers for organizations, prostate cancer fundraisers, fundraisers for Harrisonburg Downtown Renaissance, fundraisers for other things, because we really want to be an exciting part of the Harrisonburg area, the Harrisonburg organizations. We want to serve the local populace as locals. So from buying our products locally to servicing people locally to local charitable organizations, that we came to this out of retirement. So we didn't need to do this. We wanted to do this to help people, people that we knew and people that we didn't know, but through charitable organizations or whatever we can do to help.
I love that so much. And your website also mentions a commitment, which you've been talking about, to using local fresh ingredients. How important is sustainability to Ott Street Eats, and how do you incorporate it into your operations?
The Shenandoah Valley is an amazing agricultural center.
Truly.
As I grew up in this house on Ott Street, I could gaze out over the Shenandoah Valley on both sides, east and west, and see fabulous farmlands. And I enjoyed riding in my car around Rockingham County and surrounding counties and seeing the various aspects of agriculture around me. And then I moved to Tampa, Florida, which has pluses and minuses, but essentially it's a concrete jungle, with some asphalt in between.
Concrete with asphalt. I love the redundancy.
Then to come back to Harrisonburg, I understand that growth happens, and JMU has certainly grown, and Harrisonburg has grown with it, and some of the farmland has kind of gone, and there are now townhomes and apartments and that kind of stuff on it, but that's all right. There's still agriculture happening around here, and so how can we, as a new business, support our local agriculture? And so with Ott Street Eats, we do our very best to facilitate that, to help people out, to buy local. Glendora Farms provides us with beef. They are a fabulous local beef purveyor. Damaco Farms provides us with eggs, and there's a story I'll tell you about that another day. But they
You're leaving us hanging there.
Wonderful people, and like every other week, I'm picking up 10 or 12 dozen eggs from these wonderful people.
Yeah.
The Friendly City Co-op here in Harrisonburg is a great cooperative that brings local produce, local proteins, and so forth.
They're really
to
great.
Harrisonburg, and so we do a generous amount of shopping there. Now, sure, there are some things I may not be able to find locally. If I need shrimp, well, we're not growing a lot of that here in the Shenandoah Valley.
No, we are not.
But anything that I can find locally, that is a very high priority for us, because we want to support our local farmers, our local, I don't know, anything we can find locally. I don't care if it's a basket, I don't care if it's an oregano plant, I don't care. Let's find it locally first. If we can't, then yes, we'll go elsewhere. Breads, again, from any local baker that we can find with that. It's important to us.
Yeah.
Because if we don't support the locals, who will?
That's right. Right. Support local, which is, we got the local popcorn right now. We're still munching on it.
I am. And I will go ahead and apologize now for any crunching sound you might hear in the microphone, because it's actually quite delicious.
It's amazing.
Addicting might be another word.
That's #facts.
Pre-pops.
Yeah, we got to make sure we say the pop. Pop
yes. It's challenging to say, but delicious to eat.
Mm-hmm. It goes down beautifully.
It does.
Mm-hmm. Can you share a particular dish from your menu that holds a special place in your heart and what makes it so significant to you?
Once upon a lifetime, I was an executive chef in Tampa Bay, and I went to several different restaurants. But one of the most interesting things that I put on each and every menu of the different restaurants I went to was simply creme brulee. Creme brulee is, I don't know, some people think of it as a delightfully exotic dish of some kind. I mean, it's a custard.
It is a custard,
It's a custard, and then you throw a little sugar on it. You get yourself a delightful little blowtorch, and, well, you caramelize the sugar on top. it makes money. I mean, stupidly. Okay, I'm going to be frightfully honest here. I can make this thing for 50 cents. I can sell it for $5 or $6 or more.
Wow.
So every restaurant I went to, I said, "You're not serving creme brulee? Are you silly?"
This is our money maker.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's great.
So when it came to the food truck, I said, "Oh, well, we've got to have creme brulee as a dessert at some point." And I took the time to run out into the wilderness of the internet, and I found these cute little aluminum cups and with little lids, and I said, "This is it." Okay, and I ordered them, and we've been making creme brulees in there, and then I can just grab the little sugar and torch it, and people think, "Ooh."
I do like that torch with the flame. Yeah, it's a very awesome effect. It is.
It's a bloody flame, fine. and so I torch the sugar, and people are all excited, thinking they're extremely special. And as long as they've got at least $5, they are. So
that's funny.
The creme brulee, to be able to bring that to Harrisonburg is fun, and then to there will be iterations of it coming up. I did a regular basic creme brulee to start with, but I'm sure I can do like a Grand Marnier creme brulee, a blueberry creme brulee. I mean, I add a flavor, name a flavor, strawberry vanilla, just like this pre-popsterous popcorn.
Yeah.
I could make that flavor into creme brulee for you folks, and so we'll see. Oh yeah, it is not hard. But it will make you smile. And then not only will I caramelize that before your very eyes, I could even put just a dollop of whipped cream on there, freshly made, and just make you happy. And that's my goal.
I love this goal because I am a foodie myself. Yes, and that's why I have tried your food truck. I did, the first time I think I did, that's the second time. But I did a podcast interview with Alicia at the Quilt Museum.
And she is absolutely delightful. We are truly across the street from the Quilt Museum. Again, because my wife and I are quilters, and we really want to be down there.
Right.
And she has been very fun to work with. And this month and next month, if you come to our food truck and get anything, we will give you a receipt, because we're cool like that. And at the bottom of that receipt, it will get you $1 off admission to the Virginia Quilt Museum. Conversely, if you happen to go there first, which is just fine, I encourage it, and then come back with a receipt from there, you will get a free beverage with the purchase of anything from us. So it's like a $2 value. Yeah. So I don't care if it's a bottle of water, iced tea, anything else, you will get it free because you went to the Virginia Quilt Museum. We have that reciprocal thing going on for this month and next month.
Yeah, I love it. I went to visit you all after the interview and ordered food, and just every time I go to your food truck, I savor it. It's the best food from a food truck I think I've ever had.
Good answer.
And we really have great food here. So
we do. Harrisonburg is big.
There's a lot of amazing choices with amazing food. It's hard to pick a favorite, be honest.
To my knowledge, I believe Harrisonburg has been declared the first culinary district of Virginia. Harrisonburg, Virginia.
It's amazing.
And it's well deserved. We have
a lot of
high quality restaurants here in town, serving a variety of cuisines, and so
really good.
It's fun to be here, and to be able to be a part of that is an honor for us.
I agree. It's an incredible community, the culinary community around here, and I think that they're really, like you, really working hard to use locally sourced food in the menus that they provide and the dishes that they provide.
Well,
And I think that's pretty special.
Harrisonburg and the Shenandoah Valley is something to be proud of, and to be able to help this local economy by supporting the local economy. I mean, if you're going to serve locals, be local.
Yes, I like that a lot. Are there any exciting future plans or projects you have in store for Ott Street Eats that you can share with us today?
We have been invited, thankfully, to a few different events, but the one that we're actually looking the most forward to, we will be away from 304 South Main Street on Saturday, July 15th. The truck will be not there. It will be vacant because we will be at Melrose Caverns for a cave fest.
Comedy Fest.
Cave Comedy Fest.
Yeah.
Oops, my bad.
That's all right.
So we're looking forward to that. Apparently it's going to be a couple of long days for us, but we're retired. We can handle it. So out there on July 15th and 16th.
Yeah.
We will be located out at Melrose Caverns on North 42, just north of Harrisonburg, and it's going to be an awful lot of fun. So I would encourage people to come out and enjoy not only some exquisite comedy and a variety of shows,
yes,
but also some fabulous foods. Not only will we be there, but I believe Preposterous will be there. And I'm confident Don will be able to tell you who else will be there.
I know, and it's north on 11. So
my bad.
That's all right. We're all human at the end of the day. I love doing jokes about my humanness showing. Because it's life, laughers. It's life. It's an amazing opportunity, Cave Comedy Fest. It's our second annual event. And we will be having comedy shows inside the cave at Melrose Caverns. And then cave tours in between the multiple comedy show times. Myself and my husband, a headliner from DC named Winston Hodges, will be on 4 of the 6 shows.
Cool.
And then the first show each day will be featuring local comics that we've been working with over the last year. And they're called the Basement Comics because we've been meeting with them monthly in our basement. To help them and ourselves work out new material and grow in the craft, and we're really excited to share them with you. And then outside will be axe throwing, lawn activities, and also a food and beverage garden where Ott Street Eats will be, Preposterous, as well as Restless Moons Brewings, wonderful beer, and Bricks and Columns Vineyards wine. And we would love for you all to come out. This has been designed for the community and tourists to our area, and we have a lot of commitment and support from people that are wanting to be a part of growing this event. So we invite you all to come out and try the delicious eats that Ott Street Eats will provide. It's a fabulous, fun time. So we're excited about it.
I've been assured that Ott Street Eats is not in the target zone of the axe.
I know. People.
My insurance agent asked. I said no.
Yeah, it's on the grounds, but not next to you. So the axe throwing is also, to clarify, not inside the cave. And the axe throwing is provided by Beards and Broads. And this event is made possible because X2 Comedy has partnered with Melrose Caverns and Beards and Broads to make this dream a reality. So we invite you to be a part of the dream that's growing. And together we accomplish more.
I have a dream.
Yeah. It did start as a dream, and these other 2 businesses are like, I'm in. And now here we are.
And you have been growing year after year, and I'm just impressed and, actually quite proud to be a part of that this year. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I was so excited when I called him. I was like, hey, how about this? How about being a part of this crazy dream we're all doing? And he's like, sure.
Okay. Why not? Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
It really is a unique comedy experience. How many times can anybody say they've seen a comedy show inside a cave?
I suspect not many, but I'm looking forward to it myself. I'm going to bring some extra people just so I can go attend at least one show.
At least one, because it's going to be fun, y'all. I can't wait. So that's exciting plans in the future for us. I'm super stoked about that. Can you, before we leave here, answer the next couple questions? Number one is, can you give some advice to aspiring food truck owners who are looking to break into the industry? You mentioned that website, and we can put that in the show notes for the Laughers in case any of them have ever been interested in starting a food truck business. But in addition to that website as a resource, what other advice would you give to someone that wants to break into this industry?
Wow. I feel a depth of responsibility here, so just bear with me. Number one, do all the research mankind has. I don't care if it's online. I don't care if it's book research. Find out what the true hidden costs are of having a food truck. There will be taxes. There will be propane. There will be electric. How are you plugged into somebody, or do you need a generator? What in any food service industry, it all starts with the menu. What equipment do you have? What menu can you serve? Most food trucks will revolve around a single menu. You better know how to cook it. You better know what your food cost is. Because that food cost is going to determine whether you live or die. Cost it out to 4 times your cost. So if you can make something for $1, sell it for at least 4. In the meantime, follow food truck training. The guy has written a couple of books. The author of that particular Facebook page, read them. He is a wealth of knowledge. And follow the Facebook things, because that will teach you things. People ask questions that you haven't thought of, and read the answers. Apply the answers. I have my insurance through State Farm, and because of someone on that food truck training who asked a lot of questions, got a lot of answers, did a lot of research on my own thanks to that, and I came down to whoever was going to have that particular insurance that I needed. So learn, and then go into it with your eyes open, not just a dream, but open eyes, knowing that there will be challenges. Whatever your budget is, double it.
I remember that from earlier. Double it.
If you think you can get into this for $50,000, you're wrong. Double it. And expect early challenges. All of your friends are going to tell you, oh, I can't wait till you open. We're all going to be there. Yeah. Some will show up the first day. Some will show up the second day. Some will show up, a week later or whatever, And that's fine. God bless them. We all need friends. We all need supporters. But what about everyone else in your community? You need to figure out how you're appealing to everyone else. Find someone who's 20 years old and understands social media. Someone who understands Facebook, Instagram, Yelp. whatever people are doing nowadays on their phones. And
it's always changing.
Retired because I'm older. And so, I found someone who was young, who understood all that stuff, and made our website and everything else work. God bless her.
Yeah, it's a good website.
Social media is very important in today's market, and I didn't know anything about it, so I found someone who did. Insurance is something I knew nothing about. Found someone who did. Your food costs. Well, I knew about that because I was in the restaurant business. So that was not challenging. But know what you're getting into before you get into it. Before you commit $100,000 to get into the food truck business, you bloody well better know where each and every dollar of that is going, and then plan to have some reserve for the next 3 or 4 months while you get your feet underneath of you.
That is so great. Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm sure there's going to be a laugher out there who's been thinking about a food truck.
And I hope a lot of people do. It seems to be a tremendous trend in the culinary world today is food trucks. And because everyone can not only get into it less expensively, but be their own boss. And I highly encourage entrepreneurship. I've owned a few businesses, but this has been fabulous for us, and it's just fun because we came to it in retirement. Mm-hmm. If we were doing this to truly make a living, we would have done some things differently.
Right.
So we can still have fun with it now, but on the other hand, we are in it to make a little bit of money. Let's not kid ourselves, but we're in to support some friends and some causes and so forth. So we don't have to depend on it. If we had to depend on it, I probably would have done even more research and figuring out this whole social media thing, the whole opening marketing thing, and then invested a little bit more in that to get some of those more initial customers. The people that we have now come back, and that's awesome. That means everything to me. And some of them will start bringing their friends,
telling people about it,
members.
Yeah.
And so we're growing. I guess the word is organically.
By word of mouth.
Great. I'm happy about that.
Word of mouth advertising is amazing.
But if we depended on it, I would have invested a lot more in social media, in digital media, whatever you want to call it, in order to have a much bigger opening crowd.
I got you. Right.
So that we could make even more money and progress on.
Yeah. And I think that's important for laughers that just listen to your advice too, because depending on where they are in their stage of life or what their goals are, that can make a big difference in their strategy for marketing, etc. So if this is going to be set up as they're depending on it for income, there would be different considerations that they would want to take a look at.
Absolutely.
As they're building it.
Your food costs, your marketing costs, your overall utility costs, etc. Know your costs before you spend the money. Just know what your costs are going to be, and then figure out, well, what is your food cost going to be? What do you need salary-wise or wage-wise or whatever you want to call it in order to live while this process is progressing?
That's right. And it also sounds too, from everything that you shared today, that your menu and what you plan to offer in terms of your menu, whether it's the same menu pretty much week to week versus what your all's strategy is, which is changing it up from week to week, that has to be factored in terms of your costs and
more than I can legally express.
I love it, though. I love the variety. Kirsten at Magpie has a similar vibe and strategy with changing up the menus all the time. And she's fabulous. They've been on the podcast too. I was so just amazing and fascinating and interesting and educational and informative. I learned so much from her. She's fabulous, and I love their food too. It's so good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A leader for sure in the culinary district around here. No doubt about it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're in good company, John.
That could even be considered company in that. I'm honored.
Yes, that's great. Well, let's finish up with this. Lastly, for our laughers who are eager to try your delectable creations, can you tell us where they can find your food truck? You mentioned it before, but let's share that again and stay updated on your latest offerings on social media or otherwise.
We are relatively permanently parked at
True.
304 South Main Street. It is on the corner of South Main Street and Franklin Street in Harrisonburg, Virginia. We are directly across from the easily found Virginia Quilt Museum, or the Arts Council of the Valley.
Correct.
We have a website of Ott, that is OTT, OttStreetEats.com. We are also on Facebook. You are welcome to find us on Instagram, also all that above Ott Street Eats. And you can feel free to email me at chef, CHEF, at OttStreetEats.com. We're happy. We're open Wednesday through Saturday from 11 to 3, and we generally post what our new menu for the week will be on Monday or Tuesday. Our website also features some of the past menu items that we've had, so you can get an idea of the kind of food that we do serve. And we are also happy to entertain caterings. We've done a few of those, and we just love doing that. So feel free to reach out and let me know what you want.
Yes, please do that, laughers. And thank you for joining us today, John, and sharing with us some of your story and all things Ott Street Eats, where good neighbors and good food meet. Anytime, truly, that I get to hang out with you, friend, is a true pleasure. It's true, and I love your food and can't get enough of it. So thank you for bringing Ott Street Eats to our community and all that you do.
Well done. Luckily, not only are you sweet, but you're cute. So
I got that going
so
for
much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for inviting me on this show. And I hope that we get to meet some of your new fun-filled fans.
Yes, at the Cave Comedy Fest. I do.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good time. And I didn't even tell the laughers of everything that's there. I actually was thinking, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell them about the hydration station that Pure Shenandoah is going to offer.
That's awesome.
I know. So there's just going to be some more surprises that you didn't even hear about in this podcast. It's just
surprises are fun.
I know. So come on out. And laughers, to get more information and plan your visit to Ott Street Eats, be sure to try their delicious food, and you can check out more about them when you visit their website at OttStreetEats.com. Or better yet, you plan that visit in person to visit them in downtown Harrisonburg, or at this year's Cave Comedy Fest on July 15th and 16th at Melrose Caverns, just north on Route 11 in Harrisonburg, Virginia. You can get more information about Cave Comedy Fest and the tickets at x2comedy.com. That's X, the number 2, comedy.com. And lastly, and most importantly, thanks for tuning in, laughers. Out of all the podcasts out there, you picked us, and we think that's pretty darn special, just like you. Until next time, keep smiling. Bye!
Bye!
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by X2 Comedy. We'll be dropping a new podcast every Wednesday, so check back for another uplifting episode. Come to an X2 Comedy show, or let us bring one to you. To find out more, head to x2comedy.com. Be sure to share this podcast with a friend, and until next time, cheers.